always wanted. What happened? Who's that? Naya, go lay down. I'm not having it. Get out of here. Go lay down. You will not interrupt me and harass me. No, you will. Oh, all right. All right. It's finally here. Go. Go lay down. Take a nap for like an hour. Then I play around with you some more. Come on, man. You worse than a little kid. Go lay down. Jesus Christ. Can't get enough. All right. What's up, black women? Let me let HM. Let me. I'll go deal with H&M later. MN, where you at? I'm here waiting for you. All right, seriously, Naya, please go. I don't want to have to put you in a crate. Take your bone. Go over there. Relax. Go ahead. Be a good girl. Thank you. See ya. See you, K9. See ya. She think I'm playing. No. Go. Go lay down. Seriously. Thank you. She just walked backwards. That was quite funny. This dog is too much. She's walking backwards in the house. I always wanted. Get into and dun, dun, dun. I saw the Kool and the Gang show. I said, hey. What you got to say? Hollywood swinger. Oh, what's up, Joanna? We waiting for MN. She want to get some stuff off her chest. She's very fired up this afternoon. I hope she's feeling better. MN, where you at? Come on. Oh, wait. I think she said call. I don't have a call. I only have the link here. She gonna have to hit it if she wanna come up. All right, let me get her comment so we can start talking about it, and hopefully she'll come because she was very upset. So I said, come on, girl, come on, let's vent, talk about it, get your feelings out. I understand when you care about people, you're trying to say something to them, and they blowing you off like you crazy. That's my whole goddamn life, child. My whole life. Till I get tired of them, then I'd be like, later for y'all. Later. All right, let me see. You all right, night girl? No, she not. She wildin'. All right. So I'm not gonna go into her whole comment to me because I don't know if she wants me to do that, but I have to say this, right? So all y'all heard my rampaging video earlier, going off on black women, right? And then talking shit about Dr. Umar because I really can't stand him, right? So one of my subscribers who has been around for a very long time, who I have a bit of a favoritism towards, right? She had commented like she was kind of frustrated today because of the women that she cares about in her area. She was trying to get across to them like the concerns she has. These are the other ones feel better on my eyes. The concern she has about black women's future and how a lot of black women are not taking our state of affairs right now seriously. And we all know this shit to be true. Like, how many times have we seen, everything is just acting crazy today. I know y'all see the screen flickering. My little, give me a second, y'all. My little background for StreamYard is acting crazy. So let me go into the settings and see if I can get that shaky stuff out of there. What's going on? Oh, here we go. Let's see. No. Let's go back this way. Let's see if it goes this way. I don't know. Why is it doing that shaky thing? It's like not fading right. Oh, we just gonna have to deal with it. Don't worry, y'all. Whatever. All right. Hi, Karen. All right, so she was upset, and rightfully so, right? Because when you do care about people and you care about Black women on a whole collectively, it does make you upset when, I don't know if you guys can hear me, right? When you care about people and you're trying to tell them, look, if we don't start getting our shit together, we're going to have a lot more stuff to worry about. And poverty is the main factor. And they're looking at you like, oh, get out of my face. I don't really care about what you're saying. I'm content in my ignorance and being very blissful about it. That's where that saying comes from, y'all. When people say, oh, ignorance is bliss, you know, all these glasses today is going crooked, just being crazy with me, and I don't know what to do. Okay? I'm going to try every pair of glasses I have today because things just ain't working right for me. But she was explaining to me how she's getting so frustrated with that mentality, but I wanted her to come so she could vent and get her own thoughts off her chest, and so you guys can hear the frustration she has, and if you want to chime in to make her feel better or even expand on her, you know, conversation, you could be able to do that. But it's still early. She's probably driving, or she's not able to get to the computer or whatever it is, so she could click the link and say and speak her piece. I think I had tried to tell her. Let me see. Let me look at the replies here. Let me see if she caught up to what I was saying to her. I told her I was waiting here for her. I told her 5 o'clock. I was a little late. Maybe, I don't know. All right, but I'm quite sure that if she gets a chance to, she'll hit the link and we can hear it literally from her. Okay. But in the meantime, I'm gonna just say the end part because I'm not gonna go into all the rest of this stuff because I think it's being like too much of a rat. Okay. So, but at the bottom, she says she tried to share with the particular women she cares about all kinds of information and encouragement about bettering themselves, right? And they wouldn't listen. So she says, you know, a lot of them, unfortunately, and this is no shame because I don't shame Black women when it comes to what life has done to them or the decisions they made in life, but I do talk shit about you when you stay stagnant in that bullshit and you don't try to get out of it and do better for yourself. Yes, I will call you a cowardly person because that's what you are to me. Because it doesn't take much to work on doing things to get better than what you already have. So she was saying that a lot of them, no education, multiple kids, just love being trapped. It's mind numbing to her. That's really how it is. It is mind numbing. But let me tell you something. And this is not an excuse for the women that's flipped. Let me take these off till I need to read, okay? Because I'm telling you, today is not my day with the glasses. It's like these shits is so dirty, I can hardly see through them. And the other ones was like tilting to the side and making my focus go. It's too much today. Today's just not my day with glasses. Okay, so it's not. I can't say it's not their fault. I can say, however, that they participate in their own demise that's planned for them. I'll put it that way, right? Because we all know that America does not want to see Black people, especially Black women, who have always been the movers and shakers in America. No shit. You could look up, any amount of history where it comes to Black people overcoming obstacles, winning over adversity, and, creating longevity and efficiency for themselves. Whether it was the 80 cities that we created in this country that were thriving independently of the United States government, and they burnt them down and did all that stuff to them the first time, and the Black people came back and put it back together the second time. They couldn't do it the third time because they had no money, so they had to just deal with it, which led up to today. All right. So in saying that, I want y'all to know, I know many of y'all have heard about the ERA, right? Equal Rights Amendment. That was one of the biggest things that came out of, I can't remember that little organization. Should I talk about it since I can't? Seneca. The Seneca, it was black women. Wait, let me just go find out. Give me a minute, y'all. Let me go find the black women from the Seneca something committee. Where those black women at? Where y'all at? Come on, black girls. All right, let's see. Where's my black women? Black women. Where's my black women? Seriously? You're not giving me what I'm looking for? All right, you know how everybody hates feminism, right? Well, these black women were like true feminists back in the days. Seneca, come on, where can I? All right, let me just look it up. Seneca. Seneca Project. Is it? I know it's not that. Let me see. No, that's not it. Was it Seneca Committee? I had just seen it today. How come I can't remember? My mind is too old. Is that it? No, that's Seneca Nation. You know, it was like back in the days in the 1800s. These black women was not playing around. All right, let me put it into black. It'll come up under black feminism. I know it will. Where are you women at? I know you're here. You always come up under black feminism. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? The history of black feminism. We know. Where's my Seneca women? I have to tell this story. Shoot. Just because I'm looking for them now, I can't find them. All right, let me give y'all. All right, so these black women in the 1800s, right? Remember I tell you how this country doesn't really like black women to get rolling, right? Because when we do, we don't stop until we achieve stuff. So back in the 1800s, this was way before those white women who got together that only people talk about their suffrage movement. Black women was doing this way before them. You already know this to be a fact because of Sojourner Truth suing America for the freedom and the rights of her enslaved children along with herself. Okay, I can't find it now, but I will find it, and maybe I'll do a whole nother video on that to show you that black feminism has been around for a while, and it is completely different from this new age radical feminism that Dr. Umar seems to have a bug up his ass about, simply because he really hates the fact that under feminism, radical feminism, white people include the LGBT people, immigrants, and everybody else. But that was all part of what Obama did when he okayed all this stuff during his presidency. He literally gutted the African Americans Human Rights Bill or law, act, whatever it's called, to incorporate all these other people and other things that absolutely had nothing to do with the origin of that bill or act. Hi, introverted soul. She said, hey, Stephanie and Juanita. Glad to see you again. Everywhere else in chat. Yeah, we came on Soul because MN had sent me a comment and she was kind of flustered. So she wanted to know when I was gonna go live next. And I didn't really plan on going live. I was home chilling, reading my books, messing around with my dog. I just finished work because today was like one of my remote days. So I was talking to my cousin, just chilling, lamping. I was doing a couple of hamstrings, some press curl, all types of shit. Just working out. playing around the house, lounging. I still got on my house gear. I got on a t-shirt and a pair of shorts. I'm afraid to stand up, you know. So I'm just chilling out. I just finished making some salmon. I had ate, some plantains and a couple of other things. Just Seneca Village. Thank you, Slime Queen. This is my girl because you know a lot of her history. I love that. So that's the women I was telling you about, and I'll get into that probably a little heavier later on. So anyway, before I start talking about that, I just happen to be like, messing around mid conversation. I have these little notifications on here, and her message came through. So when I see like some of you guys, like my women right now that's in the chat, except for Karen, I don't really know Karen, but we're gonna see. If I see people that I normally see, if you send me a comment right away, I usually see it and read it instantly and answer or put the little heart. So when I read her comment, I said, oh, she kind of upset, right? So I had tried to write back like 2 or 3 times to let her know, I hear you. And so I'll come on. And if you happen to get a chance to hit the link, I'll be quiet and let you get everything off your chest, because I understand how it feels to be frustrated and to feel like I'm trying to say something and no one is listening. So, even though she has her own channel, she can do what she wants to do when she wants to do it. Since she had brought it to my attention, I felt like giving her that much respect to say, well, come vent, come get all that shit off your chest. I'm quite sure the women will help you out and expand on your comments or go further than what you're saying or back up what you're saying. I'm sure, because everybody has had dealings with Black women where their head is as hard as a fucking rock. You're trying to talk to them and they're just like, I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I ain't listen to that. I ain't listen. I have a daughter like that. Oh my God. Yo. She's a fucking Taurus. And whoever said Tauruses are bulls, they never lied. Never. Ever since this girl was like, we high. I'm bargaining with this child. Can you please? Come on. I need you to do this. Come on. Don't make me have to beat your ass now. I need you to do this. This is how I got to deal with the child. That probably sounded terrible, but yeah, she was not budging. If her little head said, I'm not doing it, I don't care what my mother says, she's seriously not doing it. And she would not do it, period. So I've been dealing with that from forever, even to this day. She just cussed me out yesterday. Slammed the phone on me and everything. I was like, God damn, ouch, baby, that shit hurt. Damn, that's how you do your mother? God damn. What Introverted Soul said, I'm a Taurus. If I allow, we are, yes, you really are. That's funny. You 5'1" and she 5'2". That's funny. She's very short. She's little. But she's a whole lot of something though. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. But anyway, so okay. So I wanted to give her a chance to talk. So let's get back to our women, right? So Black women, before all of this stuff with Susan B. Anthony and her girls that didn't want to have nothing for Black women at all and didn't want nothing for Black men, even said she'd rather have her damn arm chopped off than let nigga have votes or rights before she did, or some quote like that is very real. These Black women, they were in Seneca Village. Now I don't know if Seneca Village is still was the Seneca Village here in New York. I'm not sure. I would have to read up on that. But these women were fighting for Black women's rights during slavery, right after slavery, and up until the whole committee dismantled and it turned into another organization, which ran into the early beginnings of the ERA, which is the Equal Rights Amendment, which led to the establishment of the 19th Amendment, women's, was the 19th Amendment with the white women, all the other women's right to vote, women's right to work, not get fired from work from being pregnant, to be able to have credit cards, buy own property without a chaperone, so to speak. Like, if you look this stuff on Google, you'll see that all this stuff for women women being allowed to have like basic freedom over their life, the same way a guy or a little boy would have just from being a male. It came to women throughout American history through certain increments of time, all the way up to, I think it was the last law went into place in the 1980s. And I think that law was in reference to, no, it was 1990s, because that last law had to do with domestic violence. And then that was the end of everything that encompassed the so-called women's rights, right? So these women right here in Seneca Village, they kind of like kicked all that off because they did not sit down and say no to all of the things that were happening to Black women around them. And they were getting very upset that a lot of people were ignoring them. So they put some movement and some rallying, some protesting, some sitting in and some violence. And they actually got stuff done, which is amazing, because when you think about how could those women do something like that back in those times, you know, when things were so violent and so dangerous for us? But how could they actually did it. Moderation helps. Man, shut up. So they actually felt they need to do it, and they did it. And they accomplished a lot of things, which led to, like I said, the ERA, which was Equal Rights Amendments with an S. Because as years went on, and women said, all right, we need this, we got it. All right. The main thing that MM was upset about was when I was talking about Black women being crazy, right? And every time I turn around, yeah, I think it might be in New York too, Slimes. I think it's the same one that we have here, because we have a history of Seneca Village, but I'm not sure, because, you know, it's funny, like in certain parts of this country, you'll find like they have the same little towns and names and stuff like that in different sectors of the country. Like there's a Soho, not only in Manhattan, but it's another one like in California. And like literally where I live, the location where I live, there's actually the same location in California. And I knew it because I went to a Subway when I was in California like a few years ago with my children. And I looked on the Subway wall where they had the map of like the country and some of their locations. And it literally had where I live, the community where I live, California, with the same thing with the Subway. It was just cute. It was just cute. So that's how I found out. Like a lot of places are mirroring outside of the history I know too. But it was different. It was different. And if you ever go to the UK, you'll see that a lot. You'll literally see where America copied, because they are from Europe. They're European Americans. That's a new thing on the internet. Did y'all know? They're not calling white people white no more. They're calling them what they are, European Americans. And they can't stand it because they like to have the onus on being Americans all by themselves and make it seem like all the rest of us are foreign to our own very land when they're foreigners. They're not from America. So it's really funny. Right? But if you go there, you'll see how everything that we literally have in Manhattan, they have the same very thing in London. It's very interesting. All right. So when I made that video and I was screaming about women with all these relationship interests they keep having on all these social media platforms, as if we're not literally living through the actualities of what we're living through right now. Like we're living through a real gender war in America. Like white men feel like not enough white people exist and they're afraid for their own survival. And they understand that the more people of color and Black people who are born, the more money they make and the poorer we get, the less of a threat we are. So these people have decided that because they can't get what they want, they gonna say, fuck it. Let's try to take away everybody's rights and just create a dictatorship with Donald Trump, the same way they did in Hungary. So this way we don't have to worry about populations, who gives birth or not, white people will always be on top, and we'll be able to control this country like a prison the way that they used to back when we was enslaved. And the crazy part about all this is that everybody's sleeping on these white people like they really can't make that shit happen. Like they all keep acting like the past can never be revived or come into the present day when they're not looking at shit that's already here from the past that they've been living with and incorporating in every day of their life that they tend to ignore. You do not see the prison system. You do not see that you have literally no rights. You literally become state property when you have to serve a sentence, or you're sitting in jail for a year and a day. Like, people somehow don't want to equate reality with what they're actually living through. And they want to listen to white people who are the grand deceivers of everything to make you think one thing is another when it's actually this. This is what they do. So if they're running around trying to tell you, case in point, they always try to make it seem like slavery is, such a long time ago. That was 150 years ago. What you talking about? No, sir. It wasn't 150 years ago that you used incarceration to keep Black people disenfranchised, to continue to maximize the greatest monetary value you can off of taking Black women's and Black males' lives from them, housing them in whatever penitentiary you want, and then making money off of them the same way you did when you created the chain gangs. That was not 150 years ago. That's just one example of the infrastructures that still exist to this day in America that we created, maintained, and flourished under the so-called end of slavery. Only the shackles and chains literally came off of our bodies, and laws were amended to give us a little bit of freedom, but never give us human equality or see women through our full humanity in everyday life in this country's freaking constitution to give us equality to a man or even be seen as a real fucking human being. That's not a joke, women. Y'all should really understand that. As women in this country, we are not even seen as people or human beings. We're still seen as property. So this is what Trump understands. And he understands that if he gets in and he changes the Constitution to state certain things, we will not have rights completely. We will go back to being a thing instead of a person. And this is what he wants. And ultimately, this is what all the white rich men in this country want. Because if you are a thing, you cannot tell someone, stop raping me. Stop assaulting my child. Stop raping my daughter or killing my son or my uncle, my father, my mother. Y'all following what I'm saying? These are the real things that are an extension of actual consequences that if we allowed America and white people in general just to have what they want, you would literally be back in slavery. Because when these people are talking about make America great again, there was never a time in the history of man underneath the beautiful fucking stars in the sky of the galaxy that America was ever great. America has always been despicable, diabolical, and a savage fucking land with savage slave owners who took advantage and committed crimes of humanity against living, breathing people. And they constantly try to spin that shit, do damage control, and turn it around to make it something it's not, when we know what actually happened. So when she was talking about how she was stressed out, and I was going off in the video about Black women not caring about the facts of what's actually happening now heading into this election, and they falling back more on the, I'm gonna listen to what Black males have to say, and my vote don't count. I can't change the system anyway. There's nothing I could do about it, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to stay in my misery and my ignorance of being poor, miseducated, low paid, low income living, or however the fuck they live in, grimy and disgusting. is what I'm going to be content with. I'm not going to ever think about I'm worth something and I deserve more than this guttural shit that I'm living in. And I need to get up off my ass and go get a better education and a better job so I don't spend all my fucking life working at Walmart. What else did she say? She said it was like Walmart. A couple of store chains she had named. And you know that shit is low income. You can't really pay no rent on no shit like that. And why would you want to? And this is what's happening. Like more, what I've noticed is like the closer and closer we get to November, the more I see on TikTok all these lives, all these videos about why do black women hate black men? Why can't black women be submissive to black men? I'm like, what are y'all wasting time on this stupid shit for? Like, clearly, black women are very delusional who want to have these damn videos and lives going where they really don't understand how America works. Like, you could be free, we chilling and doing this live today, and then next week around the same time, next Tuesday this time, or next Monday this time, we could all be rounded up in some fucking concentration camp, getting branded or getting stripped of everything we own and told where we're going to live now and who's going to tell us what the fuck to do and when we could do it and how we could go about. They really don't understand that about America. And the foreign people don't really understand that he literally said his first day on the job, if he gets into office, he's going to have the military round up all the people who are migrants or immigrants that he doesn't feel is a citizen enough and throw them the fuck out the country. Now, you know, if people resist, he just got full immunity from the Supreme Court. So that means that if he tells the military, everybody who exists, shoot them all in the head. Nobody would be held responsible for that. And this is how serious this shit is that no one is taking serious. And he could do the same to black people, round up all the motherfuckers in Brooklyn and kill them all. He could literally give that order and they would do it. And there would be, unless the only thing that would happen is what happened the first time around when he was in office. He was giving the military ridiculous fucking orders and the military commanders were like, we're not doing that shit. We are not deploying our men against our citizens. But now that he has immunity and he has all this other stuff, compliments of the Heritage Foundation and all the rest of his homies from the MAGA unit, right? He wants to make it where when he gets into office, all the people that were there before that could actually stop him and say, we're not doing that. They're not going to have a job the day that he walks into the office as president. And he's going to bring all his homies, the Proud Boys and every other ignorant nigga and ignorant fucking white person that want to be, one of these white supremacist motherfuckers. He's going to bring them into the jobs that people who have been qualified in doing those jobs for a lifetime have done. And he's going to have all his homies in the jobs so that when he tells the military, go kill them over there on 7th Street in Manhattan. Go murder them all. Anybody give you any shit, shoot them down right where they stand. He wants people in those positions where they would go, okay, yes, sir. Not, well, no, that shit is wrong. No, he doesn't want that. So he wants to fire everybody that would say no to him and put all the people in the positions that would say yes and turn the whole country into anarchy. Because what will happen, I don't know if any of y'all saw that movie that recently came out called Civil War. You should check that shit out. That's what the movie was about. A crazy president like this dude came into office and he literally had fractions of militia groups all over the country at war with each other, the everyday person, and they was fighting the military over dominance of this country. In the end, the militias overtook the military because you have to think about it, like the military is big, but it's not big enough to outnumber every single person in this country. Person to person. It's too many citizens versus military people. It's not enough military. So the different little regiments that cropped up out of that anarchy, 50% of them were like completely out of their fucking minds, and the other 50% were like, no, we're gonna help the military and we're gonna get this country back to where the fuck it belongs. They won. That's a movie though. That might not happen in real life. So those people won, and in the end, when they got to the White House, because they had to blast through everybody, fight everybody to pave the way for the military to come behind them, they killed the president. And they literally, and you know how it went down. It was a black woman that was the lieutenant with all these white dudes behind her and all these other dudes. And they was like, let's get in here. We're going to take this place. They took the whole place down, got rid of all the other people that was fighting against them. Walked up into that place, found the president, killed all the rest of the people, gave him a choice. You going to do shit right, or you going to keep being a fucking asshole? The first thing he said was some crazy shit. They like, okay, bam, just killed him just like that. And then they let the military come through. They dragged his body out to let him know he was officially dead. And the military began to take over the country again, slowly with the help of all of those little regiments that were for the government. However, before it got to that point, all them other regiments that was 50% out of their fucking mind, MAGA crazy, let me tell you what they was doing in every neighborhood they came across and lived in. You know how like in the Living Dead, Walking Dead, whatever it's called, they would barricade places and be fucking with people and all that stuff to get through? Remember now, this ain't like the Living Dead. All these people had ammo, guns, supplies, and resources for days. So they had snipers on buildings. They had snipers hidden in the grass. It was like crazy war zone, right? This whole story is about reporters that go from one side of the country to the other to get to Washington, D.C., to see the story about the president. All right. On their way, they almost got killed several times. They ran into people who were like in these little hick country towns where white dudes that had military training and who were part of these sick MAGA regiment type people, they had dug pits in the ground like how they used to do back in slavery, post-slavery, when they let the black people out of slavery. And I had talked about this before in one of my other videos called The Devil's Pit, right? That was in Florida. They dug pits in the ground. And when the black people, the Hispanic people, the Asian people, all the different kind of people that were not, in their opinion, white American people, they shot them in the head and threw them in the pit. And when the pit got filled up to a certain extent, they threw quicklime all over all the bodies so the bodies could deteriorate, so that when more people came through the town trying to escape the madness behind them, they would kill them and throw them in there too. And in this movie, when they widened out on the ditch, it was everybody in that motherfucker. Dogs, cats, babies, children, old people, everybody. But the majority of the people you seen in that motherfucker, and they made you see it, was a whole bunch of black people. So I'm telling you this because I really think that a lot of black people who are poor and feel like they ain't got shit to live for, they don't give a fuck about anything that happens in this country. And they don't realize that the simple decision you make to say, I will vote for Kamala versus I won't vote for Trump makes a big difference. Because if she gets into office, she does not have dreams of being a dictator. She does not have dreams of seeing black women lose their rights and become animals and slaves and property again, so that white men who have been living with all these fantasies of fucking and raping black women and girls could actually start living those fantasies out again the same way they did during slavery. These are the things these women are not thinking about. They're also not thinking about how seriously unprepared they are if you in your bed one night, you sleep, and you either woken up in the middle of the night or the crack of dawn with somebody kicking in your door because there is a certain number of either military or out of control MAGA crazy people, I don't know what the fuck you want to call them, rogue bastards running around, and they found out the president, this motherfucker's the president now, so anything goes. And they feel like, oh, we're going to go here and we're going to kill all the black people here and get away with it. You're not prepared for that. You haven't even been trying to become prepared for that. But that is really a reality in this country, because that has happened several fucking times in this country. When you hear the stories of Rosewood, you hear the stories of Tulsa, Oklahoma, you hear the stories of what's that, Lake Levine, right? Or Lake what's it? Lenore or Lenore? Y'all know what I'm talking about in Georgia. All those places were places where the same thing I'm telling you about actually fucking happened. The Devil's Pit in Florida. That happened because black people were doing this migration from the south to the north. And before they could actually get where they was going, they started corralling them into certain areas that they have already dug out spaces to do mass murder of them. I don't know how many of y'all seen the movie right after Will Smith went through that whole incident of slapping Chris Rock over Jada. He did that movie called Emancipation. In that movie, it literally shows you how the thing I'm telling you about right now, where they would round hundreds of black people up, men, women, and children, and shoot them, kill them, or hack them to death and throw them in them pits. That's what that movie was talking about, because him and a couple of other slaves that those dudes that was running around this country doing that for were recruiting those guys to help them dig the pits and also try to lay railroad tracks during that time, right? Before they got a chance to run away, which is what Will Smith did, and join the Civil War Regiment. The movie is good. It's going to make you upset. It's going to show you just how savage this country could be, and the type of savagery that lies behind the eyes of many of white Americans to this day. Even though people try to pretend like they're nice and they're very safe and gentle, they're not. They're very savage, and they've been that way, and they still are that way. So in saying all this, I'm telling you this because when I see black women like living in fucking la la land, only thinking about getting high, fucking drugging, and worrying about if some fucking black dude is attracted to them, they need to have more priorities than that in life. So that's why she was so upset today, because she understands the fuller consequence behind all this shit. Like, black women, y'all really gotta see what I'm saying. Like, start looking tonight into the world news and really just start Googling all the countries and looking at all the fucking chaos that's going on all over this world, because these men cannot control women and little girls the way they did. They're losing their shit because they can't get women to be content with staying somewhere where they're being told what to do every day, being told to have endless amount of children till they destroy their bodies or damn near die from infection or different things going wrong with their body, because they're having children too frequently to the point where their bodies can't recover and repair itself properly. This is causing issues. And just the major disrespect and dehumanization of women all over the world, where women are getting tired of it. Like, before I did this video, I was going through little clips, right? And I was looking at the women from India. I was looking at the women from different Islamic countries in Africa. I was looking at Kenya, especially since the runner was just recently killed horrifically by her retarded ass boyfriend who burned her alive, right? So I was looking at this woman speak in the World Conference. I don't know if she was quite all the way Indian or some type of Islamic, but she was saying how she was like, do you know what it feels like for us? We have been erased in our own lives. We have been erased in humanity. And she was saying, let me see if I can find it and share it with y'all. But she was basically explaining to them that she's been saying this for a long time. And now she's like, listen, I'm at the point where I don't want to speak again and just let what happened. Here she goes. Let me show y'all this shit. 1 second. I want y'all to hear this. Because when I saw this, I was thinking about her. I was thinking about how that Kenyan woman worked so hard to make her country proud and to make her own self proud for her commitment to training and her actual performance. This dude gets jealous over the fact that she's killing herself to become great at what she does so she could buy properties in her country to help women who have been overly disrespected and dehumanized in Kenya. You guys know over the few months of Kenya, there have been nothing but all types of Black femicide rallies, coverage of the murders of women and girls like crazy over there. She was trying to help do something about that. And look how he took her out. So the same thing now is starting to happen in Japan as well. Like the men over there, they're getting very upset with the fact that the women do not want anything to do with these dudes. When I tell you nothing at all, they don't want. All right, first off, I'm gonna play this lady in a minute. First off, you already know that Japan is one of the top countries where their population is declining so much that them in Korea. Oh, you finally made it. I'm glad you're here. I put the link for you to vent if you need to vent and get the shit off your chest. And you know, if you're more than welcome to do that whenever you're ready. Yes, y'all, she's here now, so I'm very glad. So, the women there have been really getting down with the 4B so hard that they don't have classes for children. They don't have a kindergarten, first grade, and now they don't have a second grade for their children over there. So their population is dying steadily. And these dudes are getting violent, so much so that to push back against the 4B movement, they just signed a law the other day where, all right, whenever you're ready, you can have the floor. They signed a law where men now, as long as they want to say they're a woman, they could go into any women's spaces, wreck shit, kill women, hurt them. Nobody gives a fuck. Kind of like the same thing that happened in Kenya, right? So as I was going across in these clips, I came across this. I want y'all to hear her. Now, this is the Human Rights Committee or Council 51. And this is the human rights of women.
We are erased. Do you know what that feeling is? To be erased? I'm erased. And I don't know what else to do. This is the last hope. And this is the last time I'm going to come somewhere and talk about this to the world. Because I'm sick and tired of doing it, and I'm not going to do it anymore. How many times am I supposed to yell and scream and say, world, pay attention to us, we are dying? We are erased. Do you know what that feeling is? To be erased? I'm erased. And I don't know what else to do. This is the last hope, and this is the last time I'm going to come somewhere and talk about this to the world. Because I'm sick and tired of doing it, and I'm not going to do it anymore. How many times am I supposed to yell and scream and say, world, pay attention to us, we are dying?
All right, y'all heard it, right? Y'all heard it. This is happening all over the world. So when MM was upset about the Black women not taking shit seriously in America, this is some of why this shit is so important. These men of the world want to control women. Okay, here she comes. So I'm going to let her have it, and I'm going to be quiet. Hold on, y'all.
Hey, can you hear me, Stephanie?
Yeah, you good to go. Go ahead.
Hey, it's MN. I'm so glad to finally talk to you. Oh, my God.
Hey, MN.
Man, oh, my God, man. What you said today, man, it's it's double that down here in the South. I don't understand. I don't understand the women down here, the black women that just go back for more. They love it. And it's like you brought that. I gotta be quick because I gotta get back. It's a call coming through for me in a little while.
Okay.
But I'm talking mostly the young girls, like they 18 to 30. And it's like, if y'all won't listen to me on voting, at least listen to me on education, bettering your life, doing better for you by your kids, getting up out the projects, go,
Mm-hmm.
just organizing yourselves, just doing something. I'm like, man, we're in the South. It's much harder for us down here than in other states. We're not as progressive. And we got, very restrictive abortion rights.
Yep.
And these women down here, they're like, most of them, they indoctrinated into this religion. And I mean, it's just, man, it's in them. I don't understand. I just, it never really was in me. My mom, and she didn't raise me to just be a freak, like that, for Jesus and all that. So I'm just not into that. But these girls, especially like 18 about 25, because I got a daughter around that age, they just now my daughter she will explore her options
Mm-hmm.
with other races of men, but she got burned by one that was Puerto Rican or what have you, and she, now she with a black one, and I'm like, oh, I just, girl, I done sent you all Stephanie stuff, and you go to a black one, I just, he's smiling in your face one day, but in a couple of years he may take your life.
Yep.
So she distanced herself. So, okay, I got to keep trying to work on that, but I try to talk to them about voting and getting organized, and they listen to TikTok and they listen to
Yes.
YouTube shorts, on Kamala. And well, did you hear the latest thing? I said no, because I don't subscribe to none of that propaganda kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't do that. So you still hear me?
Yeah, I still hear you. I'm letting you talk. Yeah.
Okay. But they come back with that, and then I get another group of them, because I try to talk to guys too, because we need everybody on board for the November election.
Mm-hmm.
And they I got a son. Oh, it's a he don't believe in voting at all. I'm like, oh my God, y'all stupid. Man, what kind of country we finna have with your generation? What are we finna have? And so my kids kind of dumb. And
Mine too. You ain't the only one.
yeah,
And
a lot of my friends just got dumb kids, just into TikTok and nothing else. And let me make a TikTok video, let me be a rapper, and something stupid like that. And so it's hard to reach the boys or the men, the young men. So I try to focus on the girls. Man, these girls done tried to threaten me, like raise up on me as young girls.
What?
Like, you're not finna stop me from being with who I want to be with. And I'm like, I'm not trying to stop you. I'm just trying to give you information. Yeah.
I'm trying to help you.
Right. I want to give you information as a woman older than you who has been through this. And I don't deliver it. I kind of like you. I don't deliver it in a package with a bow and a cherry on top. And so they take it, oh, you're not being pleasant. You're not, yeah, I don't like the way you talk to me. You got an attitude. I was like, I don't have an attitude. We ain't got time. We're running out of time. And so I'm just like, y'all don't see what's going on. Do y'all watch C-SPAN? Do y'all do anything besides sit up and smoke and, go to little stupid jobs at Waffle House, Target, like I put in your comment.
Yeah.
They live to go work at Waffle House and Target and Walmart to go take the check home to a bum, a loser.
And what they don't understand is if they got a damn bachelor's degree, they wouldn't need him. They would be going home to their own house, not a
That's
part.
what I tell them. I'm like, I own my own house. I got a bachelor's degree and a associate's degree on my own. I had my family to help me. They supported me. I was able to, thank God, take time off from working and go pursue my college career full time. I know everybody can't do that, but at that time and place, it fell into line for me. So I took advantage of it. And that's just what I'm telling girls out here. Like, if you can foresee something, take advantage of it. You know,
Yep.
don't wait. Because, little programs that was out when I was going to school in early 2000s, 2009, whatever, they done dried up.
Yep, they have. But they got some new ones coming with Kamala because you know how everything started. They do everything first in California.
Right.
So they got this thing called the American Dream Program. Y'all can look it up, right? It's a first-time home buyers program for everybody. I know a lot of Simply Said did a video on it. She did a pretty good one, but she tried to make it seem like it was only for migrants. Not true. It's for everybody, right?
Right.
And they're giving you up to $100,000 in closing and closing and down payment costs.
Yeah. It's everything that's for a migrant. It's for you too. You got to go take advantage of it and look at the fine print and read. They just don't want to read. They don't want to ask questions. They don't want to follow up and follow through.
It's what I was saying earlier. Like, they got to understand these people do not belong to this country. So they got no rights. They don't have any government agencies supporting or created to enforce their rights. So everything that they're using comes from us. Resources, laws, government agencies, everything that was created to so-called give Black people, a leg up from that Moynihan report for real to current. And they're not understanding that. You could go take advantage of that shit before them because they got to give it to you. Exactly. They got to.
Exactly. Just like with the HBCUs. You didn't want to go to college. Most of you didn't want to go,
That's right.
Most Black women did, but a lot of Black dudes didn't. They want to run the streets. They don't want to take advantage of the Negro College Fund. And now the Negro College Fund is open to everybody. So.
Thank you. And that's the same thing that happened with the HBCUs. And then when we lost affirmative action, now that has put Black people in a position where the very colleges we created and built for ourselves because we couldn't go to white colleges, now we don't even get a racial preference because y'all was sitting on your ass and fucking and drugging and having kids and just chilling at doing the bare fucking minimum. Now you don't even have access to that, but now you want to blame people who come from somewhere else because you didn't think it was important until somebody else started taking advantage of it. It doesn't make sense.
Exactly right. And that's been in me. That's been in me since I've been a kid, Stephanie. And I ain't really had nobody to kind of teach me that. It's just been something, I guess I was kind of born like, because I always want to be something in life.
Exactly.
But I had a detour. I had kids young, and then had another one a little bit in my 20s. But after I got laid off in 2003, I was like, I'm going back to school. I'm not finna keep doing these crazy little jobs for pennies, and then they lay me off. So I showed my kids, and for that, all that hard work, they turn and look at me. Oh, we may listen to you, Mom. We whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you're talking about. 40-something years old, you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you know what? I hate to say it, right? But you remember when Malcolm said you ain't gonna reach everybody, and you're gonna have to leave a lot to get ahead. Exactly. He literally said that. I think I might start trying to find a lot of his speeches and start making videos with his speeches, because everything he said in those 60s and 50s when he was preaching, that shit is still relevant to this day, because Black people have not fucking moved past the time of the murder of Malcolm and Martin. That shit is
in Tennessee. They hadn't come past the murder of Emmett Till. I mean,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's I mean, my God. It's crazy. It's like we live in the 50s here, with technology. It's wild. It will blow your mind.
I know it would. It would, because let me tell you, I had just went to Missouri because my son was there with the military, and some of the things I saw there, I couldn't believe.
Oh man. Oh my God.
I seen people living in fucking shacks.
Oh man,
and I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, and the people these was white people. Thank God it wasn't Black people. But it was like, why do y'all look like this?
Yeah, we got them too.
They look like they was chilling with the pigs in the mud and then just got up and started doing shit around the house. I'm driving down the road like, what the fuck?
Heels have eyes. I'm telling you.
It's real. I'm telling you, I didn't get out that car. I was like, where am I? Where am I? No,
Oh my
no.
God.
I'm telling you,
Porn.
it was crazy. You know what I was doing? I had to go to that what is it? Robert Floyd or damn, I can remember right now. This the military base in Springfield, right?
Yeah.
I had to drive, so I had to take the plane to St. Louis, and then I had to literally drive like 2 hours and change from that airport all the way to Missouri, and then go to the army base. I seen a lot of crazy stuff on the way. I could not believe it.
God Almighty. And I'm gonna tell you something. Right here in the city where we got the shacks on one side, and then you go to one street over, you got mansions on the other side. It's unbelievable.
Oh no, that's here like that. That's here in New York. When you go upstate, the white people live in all the beautiful area, lovely houses, a lot of space. Then you go like maybe 10-minute drive down, nothing but abandoned looking houses, dilapidated houses that where one side of the shit is fell down, the other side is held up, and people living in that.
Yeah.
That's how they live in here.
I think it's like that all across the nation.
It's crazy. And when you talk to them black people up there, you would not believe they was from New York because they sound country. That's one. Number two, they don't go to school, so I don't even think they have a high school diploma. Here they call it ACS, right? The Agency for Children's Services, right? Those children workers. When I keep telling all the black people from everywhere, all the women, you ever want to come to New York, live a good life, get a real high paying job, you go online first, put in for that CPS job upstate, anywhere it is upstate, move there for like a year or two, do that job, you'll be making damn near $100,000 because up there, those people so deprived. Every time you turn around, it's a shooting, it's a killing, people getting their children taken from them. They getting put in jail for the rest of their life. It's ignorant up there.
God.
Ignorant.
Oh my God. Well, it's like that here. You know, we got one of the highest murder rates down here in Memphis, and we we got way too many for our population. You know, it's over stupid things.
Because they don't think they deserve nothing more than that shit they living in.
Yeah.
Like and but you know what though, women, you gotta like, if you can't talk to them, leave them alone.
Yeah.
But because it's gonna be one thing for certain: whoever wins is a big change coming to America. That's for definite sure. Because
absolutely.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you talk. I can always talk after. Go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying absolutely. We fixing to see in November everybody with this conspiracy theory, and I don't want to vote. I'm gonna sit it out. I'm not voting for Kamala, you know. And then I guess some of black folks talking about they voting for Trump. I said, oh, okay, well, I'm through talking to you. I know I'm through talking to you. I said, you finna be one of the first ones back in the chains.
I hope they get. That's what I said. I said, if that dude win, please come for everybody that was supporting him first that was black. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to go full commando. I'm not playing. I'm going to gear up and I'm going to take out everybody that comes for me. I'm not playing. Because black people really don't understand that he literally said he wants black people not to be able to have a voice in this country. What does that mean, Emin?
That means he's ready to take you back to 18 before the Civil War.
Have you noticed that they was talking about the Dred Scott decision?
Oh yeah.
Now we talking about in the era of Chief Justice Roger Taney, which would have been like 1870 to 1890.
Yeah.
So do they not understand that was during the Reconstruction of the South? Like this was when we had the Freedmen's Bureau and black people was doing good while that was all right. And then the white people sat back and said, these niggas is living real good, better than us. Let me tell you what, we gonna go to their Freedmen's Bank over here where they done put all those, they put $10 million in that bank.
Yeah.
10 years after being released from slavery. That's how industrious black people could be.
Yep.
The white people in this country said, Fuck them niggas. Let's go take them. Stole all the shit
Yep.
and created Wall Street in New York City.
Yep. Absolutely right. And another thing that I try to tell younger people that's so great about our people getting off that plantation, they raised their literacy rate like by 70 some, 80 some percent, man. People could read within just a few years. The law was saying that you couldn't read by death.
That's
And
right.
those people taught themselves to read. They built their town
Yes.
brick by brick. I was like, that's where the blood is that goes in your veins. And you sit here and you smoke it up and you drink it up and you lay up with a bum and you worry about putting wigs on and not taking care of your kids and going out to a club and leaving your kids by themselves, because that happen down here a lot too. A lot of ladies
Up here
take
too.
kids by
Yeah.
yeah. And we
Mhm.
got to, we don't have them days anymore where you got your neighbor that can just go check on your kids. Now you got to call the law.
Exactly. And what you just said is so incredible because they don't understand their potential. Like all those black people that, like you said, they learned to read. I think it was like in less than 5 years. They was always sneaking and learning shit.
Mhm.
But when they had an open ability back when black people's communities had one little schoolhouse and you had those over qualified, over credible teachers, those black women that would teach a room full of people, students of all ages from 2 years old to 97 years old. They would teach everybody, and everybody would come out of that classroom being taught higher than if they went to an Ivy League college. This is the stock that Southern people come from. So for them to just turn off their brains and sit there and act like there ain't no way out of this ditch, there definitely is. Because people who had way less than you did so much more. Like, people don't realize a person like Garrett Morgan, he created almost everything we use today, right?
Mhm.
Stoplight. He created the switching tracks for the trains, right?
Yeah, the stop signals.
Yeah. The traffic light. He created that.
Stoplight.
Yeah. He also created that, like when you on the train and you see the train go one way and then that little rail goes and the train could go another way.
Yeah.
The relay, whatever it is. He created that. He created the gas mask. Every gas mask you see, that's him. He also created, I forget right now, but it's something that the fire department uses for when they have to go down deep in the dark in water. He created something for them to go underwater where they could breathe, something that goes in their mouth. I forget what they put something in their mouth where they put the mask on and they could literally breathe and not have to have the tank on their back, aspirator, whatever. I don't know what it's called, but if you look it up, you'll see. He created so many things. Him and every other black person that was an inventor in this country. Almost everything we use, even down to the forks, the brushes, the toothpaste, the refrigerator, everything. And all these people never had a proper education. They just sat down, studied stuff, trial and error, figured things out, had a little education, got a little more, and said, here, I'm going to create this. Like the black women.
Yeah.
Like I said, everything we touch is some Southern person. Like the black lady, she had like over 50, I forget her name, I need to remember this stuff, 50 different patents of everything from the bathroom toilet roll holder to improving the ironing board. This everything that we use, she just tweaked it a little bit and fixed it.
Yeah, I remember. Oh man, I hate that I lose those names.
Me too, but I'll just read it again. But it's like they just giving up on themselves. It's not like they don't have the potential to do it. They're giving up on themselves. But the worst part about all this, when it comes to the women, is the fact that they have children who they are showing, and these children are supposed to be our future, showing them that you ain't got nothing to live for.
Exactly. Kids don't ever get to go to the park, at least. And now, taking them to the park is a double-headed sword here, because sometimes a shooting may take place, or something. You got your little lecherous men and pedophiles rolling around the. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Say what you know. I ain't monetized. Say what you want. I ain't monetized.
Got your pedos walking around.
Yeah.
looking for the baby, to snatch them as soon as you turn your head, So, we got a lot of that down here.
It ain't
You
just down
know,
there; it's everywhere. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
just did a story the other day on that Florida dude that he ran up on 3 teenage girls with a gun. 2 of them ran so fast he couldn't get them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the first girl said, when I played the news clip, she said, the reason I reported this to the police was so he wouldn't be able to terrorize and violate a little black girl. And he got the third one. She was so scared when he pulled the gun on her, she got in the car, and then he raped her right there in the car and left the baby on the sidewalk with no clothes on.
Now, see, and this happened in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, I hope she got access to a plan B or something. This child don't deserve to have to walk around with a madman's baby if something doesn't happen. I really hope that nothing came out of it.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, thanks Slim, for all the information. Thank you for that. She was telling me all the stuff that I was asking for in the chat. That's what happened to that little girl in Mississippi. He raped her at 12. She had that baby at 13. And even though they say she could have had an abortion because it was they did everything to keep her from having an abortion, so she had that baby. And these are the things when black women are telling other women, this shit is traumatic. This stuff keeps black women and people in a headspace where they can't get over their trauma to do better for themselves. So you continue to be used by this country, and this is what they want for us, period. The way you and me talking right now, this is not good for them. This is not beneficial for them. Because somebody may listen and go, yeah, I don't really have to live like this. I can say no to all this shit and do something else positive and live better.
Yeah.
Can you speak to some of the effects of little girls not ready to be moms, being raped and forced to have rape babies?
Yeah, I unfortunately I grew up around so many young girls that big brothers didn't even protect them. Didn't go after the guys, just too busy being a thug, and these girls would have to have rape babies or get burnt, get some kind of STD, have to be treated for it, or just post-traumatic disorder, having to go through something like that at such an early age.
It's so true.
And I knew a girl, a friend of mine, she's not really a friend anymore, but she allowed people to come in and do things to her baby, and all the way from, I believe this child was about 4 years old, because we would smell her, and why does she have such a smell? And people, her family would kind of laugh at it, and I was like, hey, that's a warning sign. And this is when we because she had her kids real early, and so this is when we're like 18, 19, less than 21. And she, oh, it ain't nothing, because she wanted to go work. She had to work a bunch of hours, and so she would leave a 14-year-old with her children. And I said, girl, you need to take that child over to her grandma, and you actually need to take her to go be examined. And so they did find out, and the girl eventually, at about age 8 or 9, actually told it, but it actually started with her when she was maybe 3 or 4, when she wasn't able to really verbalize it, but she had a smell. And I said, there's something that's happening.
Exactly, because babies don't smell down there.
No. And she was like, oh, it's been a day or two since she had a bath. I said, a kid can go a day or two without a bath and don't smell like that.
No, they don't. Even they shit don't be smelling like that. Come on.
Now, she felt like a grown woman had been with
I know what you saying. She smelled like one of them you go in the bathroom after and you be like, God damn, that.
Like, girl, you about to choke me out. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. The girls are just not getting the game from their moms, their big sisters, they aunt, older women. They not listening, or they not getting it.
And man, they don't listen. They don't listen. Remember how we was laughing a little while ago about children?
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 daughters.
Yeah.
2 of them right now are the biggest fucking pain in my ass. No joke. One has kids. Only one of them has children. The rest of them, that other one I'm talking about, the one with the kids and the younger one, She runs around all over this country, right? I keep telling her, that's the wrong dude for you. He done kicked your ass one time. I had to send my sons over there to tighten his ass up. You need to cut this shit out. You putting your brothers in risk of going to jail, getting killed, or them having to kill somebody for you. You need to get your shit together.
Yeah.
She don't listen. She
I-
don't listen.
daughter, she had a sorry to cut y'all.
No, it's no problem.
My daughter, she had a guy younger than her beating her up. I said, now how you gonna have somebody younger than you look like a string bean? That boy looked like he was 50 pounds soaking wet. She looked like she could have took every bit of
It's
beat
stupid.
up. I said, girl, you about a fool.
It's
You're
stupid.
an angry fool.
It's stupid. So when I'm telling them, like, you gotta stop all this stupid shit, oh, I'm a killjoy. I'm trying to keep her from being happy. I just don't want her to have nobody. And I don't want you to have no fucking body like that. What the fuck you doing? And her, man, it has been so ridiculous for me in the past like couple of months. Her father, my ex-husband, lived all the way in Hawaii. He done came down this way about 2 or 3 times and almost went to jail for fucking this kid up. And every time we throw this motherfucker out the house, change the locks, don't she give him another key?
Oh my God, man.
Yes, this is the shit I deal with. This is the shit I deal with, and I'm tired of it.
She in too deep.
And so when I'm telling these young black girls, it ain't like I'm sitting here like, oh, I'm just reflecting on some shit. No, I'm actually going through this shit, and I'm trying not to go to jail for fucking manslaughter or straight up murder. I'm trying very hard.
Yeah. And it's such a bittersweet thing because you try to fight the guy for the girl, and then she go back to him. It's like, no,
I ain't gonna fight him.
away from him.
Kill him. I have not gone because I understand. I try to be cool because I understand what's gonna happen. So we gonna see, because things have calmed down a little bit since my ex-husband went over there. We gonna see, because I keep telling my daughter, I said, okay, now you pushing too many buttons.
Yeah, and I try to tell. Well, my daughter, she don't talk to me no more about her intimate things, but I still send her stuff about the femicide, and send her things about what you talk about, like investments. Just try to talk to her about, hey girl, just get it together. She at least does have an associate's. So, and she works, and she doesn't have any kids right now. But I just really wish that she wouldn't have a man right now. And
I do.
That's the same thing she tell me. You stopping my joy. I'm like, a piece of dick ain't worth your life.
Listen, this is what I told her, and I'm dead serious. I go over there, I'm going over there with my gun. I'm going to use that shit if he's there. I don't give a fuck what nobody say, what they see on this video. I'm going to blow his motherfucking brains out. End of story, right? And then I guess I just throw my whole life away. Because I'm tired. And I keep telling her, that's why I try to be still, because when I raise the fuck up, I'm not coming over there to play. And I ain't going to leave without having some fucking satisfaction. Because I keep telling you, this is an apartment me and her father got for her because she wanted to live by herself. She complaining and shit, fighting with everybody. Oh, what happened that man? Oh, she had to go. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell this story and then end up. She's complaining she don't want to share the room with her sister, all this bullshit. Always got a complaint. So the father said, all right, you get this little spot over here, be good. Oh, I will. Get a job, got a job, finish school. Okay. Now you pick somebody that ain't got no education, even though they got a bullshit ass job, they ain't got no education. So when I'm talking to y'all about shit, it ain't like I'm sitting here making this shit up off the top of my head. This is the stupid fool I have to deal with. She not listening at all. Not at all. It's only but so much family and people who care about you is going to put up with before they say, fuck you completely. Or like me, I'm going to go over there and just end it. Done. And whatever happens, fucking happens. Because How many times you gonna keep telling? Because the way I'm saying it, young ladies, understand this. This is my flesh. This is my child. I care about her. Now, I'm not saying the dude is beating her down every day, but he does get violent with her enough to the point where I had to send 2 of my sons over there to beat the fuck out of him and chase him off and let him know if we see you around here again, it's going to be worse the next time. She's still letting him back in. We go change the locks. She giving him a key, right? My ex-husband go over there, physically takes the nigga out the house and tells him, get the fuck from around here, right? Don't come back. She still got him in there. I sit here because if I get up, I'm going to put all those fucking rounds in that gun and I'm going to blow his ass up until he's probably all over that apartment, because that's literally how I feel about this motherfucker. Because I can't sit down and let anything happen to her. That's why I keep sending everybody over there, right? But when I go over there, I'm going to end this shit completely. And then you're going to see me on the news. And I'm done talking about this because I'm up to here with this shit. Because it is something about young black women these days where they feel like they have a need to throw away the best years of their life on ignorant shit. Now, mind you, she's not yet 31, right? So she's just 30 acting like a fucking fool. And you have all the rest of your life to do things you need to do without acting like this right now. You didn't do this when you was younger. What the fuck happened in the last 2 years where you done lost your motherfucking mind? It ain't no dick that good. There's no way you become dickmatized till you lose your fucking mind like that. I said, he got till Christmas to be going for good. I'll make a fucking house visit. And I'm gonna shoot something. And probably not gonna stop till that fucking clip is empty. Because I am tired of playing games. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck that I'm saying it here. Now I'm just tired of bullshit. And it's fucked up because this is the type of shit that happens in black people's lives that make them do the shit they do. And I would not be the first mother to do that shit. I would not. Anyway, okay. So she said, remember she said she was waiting for a call, so probably the call came through and she had to handle that. So I'm glad she got all that stuff off her chest. But young black women, y'all, everybody in here in the chat, y'all cool. Y'all know what you got to do. But if you can, try to talk to some of these wayward, out of control. Yeah, she said, okay, no problem. You had already told me. It's okay, no problem. She had already told me the call was coming through. Seeking wisdom. I don't believe in that bullshit about soul ties. And it's not true. There's nothing biological about fucking somebody, letting them nut in you, and all that dumb shit they tell you about shit going to your brain. And none of that is true. This is all actual decisions women make. You know I have fucked men too. You know this to be a fact. There have been men that, yes, I couldn't get enough of that type of dick. That one Vietnamese man I told y'all about. I was completely open for him. But if you think that I was going to lose my mind and do all types of irrational shit and let this dude go upside my head or disrespect me or stay in my house and be living rent free and all this shit that we be talking about Dusties and all this shit, this shit is now happening to my own fucking daughter. What the fuck? No, this is not good. This is why I'm so fucking hateful of these motherfuckers. Because if I could, I'd round them all up and get rid of them in one fucking day. Just fucking be gone, be done with them. So no, it ain't no soul ties. This is just people making deliberate choices to do this shit. Deliberate. And sometimes, right, I think that she might be doing that shit to spite me. I'm not even sure, but you never know. Because with all this crazy shit going on these days, how whenever mothers try to tell their daughters something, they pull all of this parent alienation shit. You just heard how Evan just said her daughter's not talking to her now. She want to have distance because her mother's trying to tell her, straighten up, do fucking right. Hold on, let me see here. I guess she does. What is it? Marginal light years. I guess she does think it's a struggle, or I think it's just this one particular dude, because before this dude, she was with another guy. He was fairly decent, but he was like, I guess what you consider like a cornball or something like that. And she used to always tell me, like, because she does still communicate with me even though we have arguments. I told you she just cussed me out the other day, right? So she cussed me out about the dude, and I was telling her, I said, okay, but you already know me, so you know that patience is running down, right? And I will ring that fucking doorbell. It's coming. So she was telling me before about the other guy, the guy before this. She didn't like him. She felt like she said he kind of like tried to insult her intelligence. I don't know. It's possible, because people do perform. They act one way in front of some people and another way in front of other people. You never know. Well, she said, seeking wisdom said, what? I understand. I've been there with my husband. My mother was wanting me. It came home to roost 20 years later. You like me, seeking wisdom. I got married to my first husband when I was 18. My grandmother, literally, like when he used to come to pick me up to take me out, my grandmother would look. I would go, I would come back. She would come in my room because I was still living at home then. And my grandmother raised me. I told y'all that. We got adopted, right? She would come and she'd say, he's not appropriate. I said, what you mean he's not appropriate? She said, he's not right. She said, she would literally list the things men supposed to do when they're, because she's from another time, right? So when men came to present themselves to the family, to say, oh, I want to court your daughter, whoever, to become her husband eventually in the future. She's like, he has not the proper respect. They was like Southern people. They from Louisiana, right? So it's like when you come to somebody's house, they feel like you have to greet. You're supposed to bring something. You're supposed to know the etiquette of how you're supposed to interact with elder people. She said he didn't do that. And then she talked about, if he didn't do that, I want to see his people. I want to see how his people behave. I want to see what, and I wouldn't let her, right? So come to find out, a year after we was married, right? Against my grandmother telling me, don't do it. Don't do it, right? He already had another woman that he was messing with on the side. I would not find out about until 5 years later. And we first just got married. So you deal with all that shit. You go through the separation, all this crazy stuff. Eventually, me and him done, right? Second one comes along. He doesn't do the same thing, but he does still get multiple women pregnant. I guess that's a Jamaican man thing. I can't, because like he has so many women pregnant. My youngest son has a half sibling who's only 3 days fucking older than my son. Can you believe that shit? So when you saying seeking wisdom, you said you understood it 20 years later. I understood it 2 times over. So that's why I'm like, y'all are really like out here searching for stuff in these dudes that don't exist. Like, and for me, you can see whether it's a Caribbean man, because I've never been married to an American black man, never, right? So, but I have dated some of them, right? So no matter where they are in the so-called diaspora, they all bugging out the same way. And they're not, basically not respecting black women, period. And not respecting their kids, because if you respected your kids, would you fuck up your household to the point where you leaving your household, or the woman leaves the household, and now your children are left with a broken family? You're really not caring about your kids like that. And that's the one thing I can say about my daughter, where even when we do argue and shit like that, I will tell her, I appreciate the fact that you don't have children, and you out here living crazy like this. I appreciate that much. So, listen, it's got to come to a point where y'all understand that just because you black as young women, you do not have to live the dog lives or any type of life your mother lived, your grandmother lived, or whoever raised you, because everybody, as you can see from me, was not raised by their parents. Things happen in life. Not everybody has the same path, right? So whatever happened to you, and if people weren't doing all that they were supposed to do when it came to raising you, taking care of you, protecting you, safeguarding you, hold on, y'all, right? Then you have to decide that was them, but that shit is not going to be me. Because it doesn't have to be you. Regardless of whatever traumas you've gone through, y'all know, I told y'all, I was raped as a little girl by a grown-ass man. You think I'm going to let that shit stop me? You think I'm going to let that make me feel like I'm somehow inferior or whatever? I'm a little girl. I had sense enough at 12 years old to know this shit is wrong. No grown fucking man is supposed to be doing that to me. So did that breed me to feel any way about myself? No. You know what it did? It made me grow hate for them niggas in me. Hate like you couldn't believe, to the point where when I got the opportunity, me and my brother, to jump that motherfucker, and then I tried to kill that motherfucker, okay? We beat the shit out of him in that house. We got arrested and everything. And if it wasn't for my uncle who was a sergeant, I probably would not be sitting here right now talking to y'all. We tried to fuck him up completely. We beat the fuck out of him. And that shit felt good. So for any of y'all that wanted to seek revenge, need revenge, you need to go get some. Because it does feel good. Because I tell you what, after he got fucked up like that, he would never come nowhere I was at. When we had them bullshit little family reunions, you know how fucked up black people are and their families, where they will keep inviting the motherfucker that was molesting you as a child. That motherfucker would hear me coming because I would laugh or be playing and talking something, like he would leave. Or he would ask people, is Stephanie going to be there? Yeah, she coming. He would not show up. Because I told him, nigga, the next fucking time I see you, no matter where it is, furniture going to be moving, motherfucker. You and me. Because I ain't no little 12-year-old girl no more. And I know a lot of shit to fuck you up. And I'm going to do it. Oh, no. You can't be playing with these people. You cannot. And you can't be giving up your soul and your fucking spirit to these raggedy motherfuckers. Because if you ask me, this is just me looking at everything, right? Yeah, word up, fuck them up on sight. It was not a joke, and man, I'm telling you. You know how when you little and you got your siblings, it was me and my one brother, Daryl. He only like a year younger than me. Me and that motherfucker like this. You hear me? We will fuck anybody up. We don't care. It's like that. That's me and my brother is like this. Like this. We went through a lot of shit when we was young. My mother, after my father died, and my mother was still hooked on that narcotic, she had a lot of boyfriends. She got married a couple of times again. And as we got older and we had younger sisters and brothers underneath us, we had to control the house. Make sure nobody was getting beat, nobody was getting fucked over and fucked with the way we was. We wasn't playing that shit. We wasn't playing that shit at all. And we had to hold that house down for a while until our grandmother and grandfather came and was able to get all of us and adopt all of us out of that craziness and put my mother where the fuck she needed to be, in detox, under lock and key, so she could get all that shit out of her system and do right. Nah, black women be going through enough. You don't need to add no fucking dysfunctional man or male on top of it. You don't. And these are the things, like, I guess these black girls, they get so beaten down when you think about what I'm saying over a lifetime, because hear what I'm saying, like, I'm one of many women. I'm not an exception to the rule. I am the fucking rule. Like, not 9 out of 10 women, they might not be as open as I am. They have had people messing with them in their life, people beating on them in their life, treating them less than a dog in their life, doing all types of terrible shit to black girls because this is what they do. So as they grow with all of this abuse, this victimization, this maltreatment, some people begin to accept that shit and feel like, oh, this is just what I'm supposed to have. And other people like me are like, no, fuck you. And all that shit you bringing my way, I don't want any of it. And if I have a say in it, I'm going to become just as violent, if not more, than you are to me. Because you're not doing any old fucking thing you feel like doing to me. It's not going to fucking happen. And so that's the whole thing, the whole situation with black women. And so for a lot of women, like what MM is saying, is like, when you live in certain geographical areas of America, it kind of dictates your struggle, right? So if you down south, you got one struggle, and you got the fucking racism on top of it. When you out west, you got another struggle, and you got they type of racism on top of it. When you in the east, the south, what do they call us? Northeast, like me, you got your own type of struggle with additional, like, subtle, indirect racism to deal with. Like, they not like down south. I prefer the shit down south. But a motherfucker don't like you, I would prefer them to say, fuck you, nigga, I don't like you. So I know right off the bat, oh, you a motherfucker I might have to deal with. Let me know right off the bat. Up here, they play all these fucking games. Like, they smile in your face and will stab you in your back, will sabotage you at work, will act like they're your best friend just to get in your house to find out what's going on and call the police, the child protective services, and everything else on you just to watch your whole fucking life fall apart. Those are the games they play up here. So it's like, everywhere you are, you a black woman, you got your own specific niche of struggle. And then when you take away the white people in society, then you got all the ignorant shit from the black people, either in your family, your community, or in your little area where you live. Right? Because, like, it's too much, y'all. Sometimes it's a lot. So I can understand when black women get tired, but you can't give up, though. If you need to take a nap, I'm dead serious. Like, when I was younger and I would be tired, I'd be like, listen, I need a nap. I take a nap, I wake up, I'm ready to go. I can do something else now. I can think about something else to do. She said, yes. Till you work with them, laugh out loud, all that. So like, it does. I'm telling you, like, here is crazy. Like, they really do that nasty, nice shit, or what do they call it? Passive aggressive. They're really like that. Like, that shit happened to me earlier today. Like, I told you I work from home, right? So I'm working and I had to speak to somebody on the phone. I'm talking to an attorney about something. Now, the last time I talked to her, it was all niceness and sweetness and giggles and laughs and jokes. Today, she was nasty, condescending, ignorant, rude, abruptly got off the call. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, wow, okay. And now when I see her later on this week, because, there's a couple of days I work from home, and then the last couple of days I have to be inside. They call it like shared or blended work, whatever. So when I see her, she's going to do what she always does. She's going to act like that shit didn't happen. Oh, good morning. How are you? Yeah. I'll get that to you right now. Yeah. I'm going to be right there. We can go over the whole thing. The bitch got amnesia. She got selective memory. That's the type of shit you deal with up here. They don't really like you, but they not ballsy enough to say, I really don't like black people. And I don't like black women, period. Right? But they flip-flop with all this racial aggressive shit. It's annoying. It really is. And that also keeps you like on your guard and always at a different level of stress, because you don't know if you got to get ready to cuss a motherfucker out, or literally like sit down and work through some shit and get the job done, and that's the end of it. It's crazy. It's just totally crazy. But yeah, no, I hear you. I feel you with the frustration, because I'm totally frustrated. But what I did know is that when I was explaining this shit to my aunt, right? Now everybody have the older black women that know more than you. My aunt is in her 70s. I was telling her the situation I was going through with this ridiculous daughter of mine. And my aunt was like, just leave her alone. That's what you mean, just leave her alone. I don't want nothing to happen to the girl. I don't want her to get hurt. She said, leave her alone. Seriously, just leave her alone. If her father want to run over there, let the father run over there. You mind your business and stop sending your sons over there. That's okay. I'll do it. I'm waiting to see what the fuck happens now. Because she's telling me I am also playing into the bullshit. So I said, okay, maybe she's right, because I'm looking at things through tunnel vision. My mind is only focused one way, and I'm thinking about doing something that's totally fucking crazy, and that's going to really cause me a lot of problems. So, all right, maybe she's right. I'm going to chill for a little while. I'm going to listen, because a lot of times we don't listen. And I don't mean that collectively for us. I'm just saying in general, like myself, a reflection of myself, right? Out to you. So I said, this time I'm going to sit. I'm going to be still, and I'm going to fucking listen. Because what I do notice is that when I'm talking to her about things and I'm trying to explain to her the importance of why I'm saying what I'm saying, she don't have no contention. She'll have no pushback. So then when I get off the phone, or if I'm with her literally and we're shopping, or she comes over here and I'm here with her and I'm finished dealing with her, when she's gone, I'm always thinking like, well, that was easy. Why was that so easy? I figured it would be a lot harder. I still don't know the answer to that shit, and still have not been able to figure that out. So when my aunt was telling me just like leave it alone, I said, yeah, I'm gonna do that, because I really don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm concerned as fuck because I'm the mother, but what can I do literally besides doing something that I know is going to end me in prison? But I'll gladly go. I really will. However, before we get to that point, I just don't understand what the fuck is going on. Like, I don't understand it. But with these youth today, right? I'm sorry, I get that from my husband. You know, Jamaican people, they say that shit all the time. So everything he says that I've heard for so many years with these young people today, right? I don't really know what's going on. Like, I don't understand the needed and wanted rift that daughters have and want to have with their mother. I don't get it. Because we are really not your enemy. Now, yeah, it's a few daughters out there that really need to stay away from their mothers. But collectively, the majority of black women, that's not the case. It's not. Even with my mom, she's a stone cold fucking junkie because my father turned her into one, right? She still would come out of that fucking dope as soon as one of us got hurt or, you know, something happened and she need to step into a parental role. She would shake that fucking junkie knot off and really be like, well, what the fuck? What's happening here? That's how she would do it. Now, the only reason why I got that night was because the nigga she was dealing with that night, he gave her something to make her not move. Because I remember specifically yelling for my mother. And I know my mother. I know if my mother would have heard me, she would have damn sure came. Even if she was half dead or already dead, she would have still showed up. Yes, I meant to say it like that. Because I wanted to exaggerate how she was. Because it's true. Even to this day, like, you know how you still have conversations and shit like that with your mother. I don't have resentment towards my mother. I know she was on narcotic. She was not herself. When she got off that shit, she became who she was that I remembered her to be, right? So when we talk about this shit. We've been talking about this shit for years. Then I'm going to say this, and I'm not stepping on nobody's toes about therapy, but I'm going to tell you like this. I don't fuck with that shit no more. I did at one point, but lately I'm seeing a weird fucking change in that stuff where they are like trying to encourage people to have problems with their family members. So I don't fuck with it because when I was dealing with it, it was teaching me coping skills. coping skills to like understand why people do the shit they do when they suffer from trauma, when they have undiagnosed mental illness, when they have personality disorders that have never been diagnosed, or they just, sometimes people be going through functional depression, different phases of depression, and they can either come out of it by themselves or they go deeper into it where now you need medication, hospitalization, all types of stuff, right? This is what I learned in therapy. And I don't see that happening now. I don't see people learning. I just see them coming out and being very reactionary. So with my mother, when that shit was going on with me and her getting her shit together, and me like getting out all of the feelings I had about what happened to me and her talking, me and her going through that, and me being very angry and expressing myself to her, and her being very receptive and not giving me no pushback, but letting me vent. And then she would say, I could still remember this to this day, may I speak? Can I explain what I was going through or why I did some of the stuff I did? I was shocked to hear that shit. I said, yeah, I want to know what the fuck was going on. I didn't say that to her because I do have respect for my mother. I'm saying that now. So she was telling me everything that happened to her. That's when I found out all this stuff. What's up? That I never knew before. Hold on, I'm going to take you out. Don't worry, I'm about to go. I never knew about the things that happened to her in her own childhood. I eventually learned that she was taken by black males, gang raped, all this shit. I was like, okay, all right. Then during her time, because she was born in the 50s, they didn't have all the shit I had being born in the 60s because she was still living in Jim Crow. Complete segregation. My mother went to an all-black school, all that shit. Used to get beat, chased, and everything by white people, all that shit. So her childhood was totally different than mine. And she already had a whole bunch of mental scars and shit that I was never exposed to. So that's another thing that when we as black women, we dealing with our daughters and the issues, or our daughters dealing with the moms and not being able to see the right path to go down, because it's okay to make mistakes in life, young women. That's not what I'm saying. Ain't nobody perfect. I expect you to fuck up. But what I don't expect you is not to listen to people when they're trying to tell you, leave that motherfucker alone. He ain't no good for you. You need to listen. Because all of us on here, if you look through the chat, you see Seeking Wisdom said it. I've said it. Even in the past, MM has said it. Many black women have said it. Listen when the older women tell you, leave that dude alone. You could do bad by yourself, but what you need to be out here doing is getting your take-home pay up, getting your independence up, and being able to support yourself without any dude in the picture at all, if it needs to be that way. Because that's going to eliminate 50% of bullshit in your life. Because when you're coupled up with somebody who is problematic, when we're talking about 100% of a thing, right? You can only control your half of the equation of stupidity and drama and nonsense. The other person, no matter how you react to that person, you cannot stop what that person is about to do, when they're going to do it, and how that shit is eventually going to affect you, unless you fucking kill them. And I don't expect you to do that, because I don't want to have to do that. Nobody wants to have to do that. So that's the reason why, if you can avoid shit, avoid it. Because believe me, I see the narrative about black women. When we look out, I look into YouTube and see how people look at us from everywhere when they watch these videos. Black women are being seen as being set up for all types of drama in family situations, relationship situations, employment situations, housing, and parenting situations. So when I come on and I'm watching videos of a black woman screaming about what happened to her today with this person she's dealing with, her child is this, that, the other, and shit you see that really like tears you up from the inside out. Like, I cannot get over that little 6-year-old little boy. I still can't get over that shit. Like, when I was looking at the pictures of this baby's so beautiful. And he was so sweet. And this grown dude who had nothing to live for and probably was jealous of the little boy. The little boy was very physically beautiful, right? So you know how they are when they ugly, big, black, and nappy-headed and gross. Anything that don't look exactly deformed and disgusting as them, they got a problem with, right? And this lady left her baby safe and asleep. And she comes home to this dude beating her baby to death. What can a 6-year-old child do to make you beat him to death? Yeah, poor baby is right. But now, amen. Look at all this shit black women gotta suck up, get their shit together, readjust, regroup, and keep marching on with. So earlier when you were saying how a lot of the girls were pushing back against you and giving you shit for it, a lot of them girls, they done seen a lot of this shit we talking about and more. And they really don't think they have nothing to live for, or there's no real future that they should be invested in or giving a fuck about, because it don't get no better for them in their minds, because they're allowing themselves to settle for bullshit. That's all I can come up with. That's it, because even today, with all the stuff I've been through, still go through, whatever, right? Because everybody's human. Ain't nobody living no angelic life on this planet, right? I come home, I think about shit. I think about stuff I got to do, stuff that I don't want to be involved with. I got no choice, right? I go, you know what, though? Even with all the shit I got to do, I still could do things to make stuff better. That's what they need to understand. You could really make things better. You have it within you to do it. We saw when black women come together, I love using this example of the Divine Nine, when the AKA came together and put together that Zoom call and got all that money for Kamala. You could do the same thing where you live. I keep saying I'm trying to figure that out to bring it to y'all, and I'm still trying. She said, yeah. But I tell them, hold on, let me read it. She said, yeah, but I tell them I got out of it. They can exactly do it's you know what though? This is another thing my aunt has said that I believe to be true, because I seen it with my oldest son. Sometimes when you're telling these kids or people in general, try this, do it this way, right? They don't want to hear that at the time, because they may think you really don't know what you're talking about, or like we said earlier, you're just trying to kill their joy. But when you say things and people think about it afterwards, or never know, something may happen to get them thinking about what you said and how it applies to what has just happened, and how that may or may not have affected them as a result of that shit happening. People do start thinking about shit. They do. So maybe today, because you're telling her or these groups of people, look, you got to do a little better. You need to want more for yourself. You need to this, you need to do that. And today they like, nope, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear what you telling me. Something might happen at work. Something might happen where a family member or something, and I don't know what it is. And somebody say the same thing you say to them, that's going to eventually get them to thinking that, oh yeah, she did say that. Maybe I should start thinking about that. She said, question, during slavery, did women and white people do anything with the slave corpses? Sorry, but of course they did. They did several things. Let me finish my point though before we start talking about that. So to get to the end of the parable, right? When I left talking about the things that could happen because of this, and like really getting heated in arguments with him and everything, and said, all right, fuck it. Do what you want to do. You get fucked up. Don't call me. Then all of a sudden, he started thinking about shit and having more open conversations and started changing his behavior. Maybe that will happen with them. Who knows? I just think that I really personally think when black people get more information about shit that they claim they got all figured out, I think maybe sometimes you just got to start thinking about other things to make change in your habits and your behavior. I just feel that way. All right, Slim, you were saying question during slavery, did white women and black people do anything to say? Of course, yeah. All right, so first off, they had to kill the black people first, right? So if ever you go to, I don't know where it is, I just know it exists. There is a African American lynching museum where they literally tell the stories of, you can look this up on Google. This will answer your question, give you a whole lot of history, and an actual place to go visit to see what they did. So they would kill black people during picnics. You see how the white people went crazy in Europe a couple of weeks ago and still doing it randomly, attacking the black people and everybody else there because the African boy killed the 3 white girls. All right. They usually beat up the black people in Europe too after soccer games and different matches that don't go well for them. They just crazy like that. Well, they used to do the same thing here in America. They would get high. They would get excited about whatever little fucking events they went to. See black people walking, snatch them up, bust into their house, grab them out in the middle of the night. They were called night riders, right? String them up on trees. But before they did that, a lot of times they would literally like tie black people's limbs, each leg to a different horse, arm to a different horse, hit the horses in all 4 different directions, and have the horses literally rip the black people's limbs off their body, right? You can imagine how painful that was. When the person is dismembered like that, then they would literally just take axes and chop the black person to pieces because they could not run or get away, right? There are pictures of this in that museum I'm talking about. There's one famous man, I do not know his name. His head and torso is on the faggots are really a bunch of logs or sticks that are to be burned over an open fire. So literally there's a picture of this black man where he's a head and a stump with no legs and no arms, bent backwards on the faggots, the big sticks burning, with his charred body and those charred sticks, which are known as faggots, right? He is one of the many people that was written about in this book called The Delectable Negro, where white people completely describe how after they savagely killed black women, men, and children, they would take parts of our bodies as souvenirs. And those of us who were killed and our skin was not destroyed, they would skin our bodies and use our skin as wallet covers, lampshades. They literally did this to Nat Turner. They killed him, they skinned him, they ate him. There are people to this day, when you read certain books, who literally have trinkets of people who were enslaved, whose body parts were made into actual objects to be used. Like, there's a family that is well known in some book I read, I think it's The Delectable Negro, where the white people who killed him in the jail, right? They killed him, skinned him alive. They made a lampshade out of him, book cover, pair of shoes, wallet. They did a lot of shit with his skin, right? There's a family that owns 3 articles of items that were made out of his skin to this day. In one of these books, it talks about how it came to be known publicly, like somebody tried to steal it. The family sued, some crazy shit, and that's how all this stuff came out into the open. So that answers your question. If you go to that museum, there is an entire book. The museum, I think, covers like over 1,000 people or about 1,000 people who were horrifically lynched in this country for no reason. And all of the deplorable things white people did with their bodies after they were dead. They even petrified black people and stuffed them, if you can believe that. You know how they do animals? Like when you go to certain hunters or stores or whatever, you see the deer's head up on the wall or whatever. They used to do crazy shit like that to black people too. Yeah. So they did that. Somebody else said something. I think I might go into about, yeah, you can go into anything you want. Queens, to go whatever you want. It's just the point that me and MN is trying to make is that, look, we know black communities are usually impoverished, okay, all the time, all over this country, because it is systematically designed that way. So the way that you beat the odds, the way that you turn this capitalist country's, on its head, is to not do what is expected of you. They expect you because they indoctrinate you into being ignorant, in love with the struggle, in love with being poor, and being pacified by programs like Section 8 and different things to keep you stuck in poverty. Now, there's nothing wrong with Section 8, because believe me, if I had some Section 8, I'd be a happy motherfucker, okay? But I would have sense enough to know that while I'm on Section 8, I'm going to save every dime, and I'm going to only stay on Section 8 so that I can acquire a home. For black women that are out there, you need to go on TikTok and find, it's like 3 black women on there that literally shows you how to use Section 8 and the programs they have from the federal government to buy a home. Because Section 8 will literally give you the money to put down on a house and help you move into that house and keep you okay for the first year. There are 3 women on TikTok that do it. So you just have to search around for them. There's one lady that covers all the laws for Section 8 to teach black women how to get into these places, save up their money to do bigger things. The second lady, she teaches you all of the laws about Section 8 so that when it comes to like when they have to do the reinspection and the renewing of the voucher or whatever it is, she goes through that whole thing so that you don't get stuck during the process, and you know where to complain, you know where to go to get help, so that you don't lose your voucher or you end up in a situation where if you have to leave a certain property, you're able to go to another one without all this issue of, oh, this person doesn't take it, that person doesn't take it. She teaches you your rights about all of that. That's the second lady. The third lady is another lady that specializes in all the programs, the housing programs that Section 8 is part of. So y'all need to just get on there and find these women. I think I saved a couple of them. Like, like when you go through TikTok and you watch the videos, I will save the video to come back to it later. So if I get a chance, I'll try to like upload them for y'all to see the women I'm talking about, so you could go to the page and learn from her. But yeah, that's it. That's it. And NACA, you should go to NACA's website, because they always have all the information about low income home buying, and also what's the other one? Hold on, because my mind is like all over the place right now. US is USDA. I can't remember right now. I have to come back to it. That's how, no problem. I'll find it, and when I find it through the TikTok, I will upload the. You know how you got to copy the link. I'll copy the link to the community page. So when you see something go up on the community page, just go over there. I'm gonna look for those 3 women again and put them up. But getting back to the point, right? So we know that this country wants to keep us poor because when we stay poor, they use our bodies and our babies to feed their capitalism and to feed their wealth. This is the whole reason why everybody's losing their fucking mind about women not wanting to have babies and going child free and not getting married and not dealing with the whole indoctrinated patriarchal system of gender roles and women supposed to be at the bottom, men supposed to be at the top, and the rich people over the poor. Nobody gives a fuck about that. They don't. And instead of them just realizing that people don't have what they need to live the lives you want them to lead. So unless you feel like doing something about that, like increasing their salary, lowering the fucking rents, making life easier for them to live, making food affordable, it's only going to get worse as time goes on, because if people are desperate and they can't afford to do what it is you want them to do, they're not going to do it, whether they want to do it or not. Like if I literally don't have the money to take care of myself and to live life by myself, why the fuck would I have children? Why would I do that? When if I can't take care of myself, how the fuck am I going to be able to take care of them? It's ridiculous. So once we understand this is a system set up for us to fail, your best way of beating this system is to educate yourself past this high school degree so that you could get a job where you come in, whether it's only making like 40 something to 50 something, you're above the so-called medium average, right? And when you get there, you continue to keep getting jobs, getting more education to get higher and higher pay, so that you get to the point where poverty is never going to be a reality for you. Because even when you get your money and you get your salary, you should have brains enough to know I need to save money. Now, the way it goes like this is normally if you ever go to anybody that's working in the bank or some personal person you're learning to invest from, they're going to tell you when you saving and working and living your life, you're supposed to go by the 50, 30, 20 rule. Altogether, that comes up to 100. So 50% of your income is supposed to go towards rent, bills, and all that type of shit. 30% is supposed to go towards your own personal, whatever it is. I want to buy this. I want to save up for that. I need a new pair of shoes. I got to buy some tires for my car. 30% goes to you, whatever the fuck you got to do. And the last 20%, that goes to saving. Saving, you can do whatever you want with that savings. Invest, but make sure you save. And that is really something you should really do, y'all. There's so many robotic investing apps and different things where you could take as little as $5. Acorn is one of the best ones. You could put $5 every 2 weeks, every month, or whatever, and just start learning to build your money and build your investment. And then when you can put $15, $20, $30, $40, $50, that's what you do until you get to the point where now you see your account growing. That's the whole point of all this shit. So that whichever day comes first, old age, where you need that money you save to supplement whatever you're going to live off of before you pass away, you got it. So that way you're not struggling, you're not dealing with no silly shit, and you can rely on yourself and only yourself. Period. That's it. So I'm spent, y'all. I don't know what else to talk about because it's real simple. Either you're going to stand up for yourself and try to make sure that you have something in life, meaning I don't mean like have something, just for me. When I say have something in life, like you have your freedom, you have your ability to do whatever it is you want to do in life. You have that opportunity still available to you. You have to fight for it. And the way to fight for it right now is to make sure you vote for Kamala and not Trump. And don't be out here listening to people talking to you about independence. Have you ever seen an independent win a presidency ever in the history of this country? No, you have not. Do you know why that is? Because there's only certain states that motherfuckers can run and can be registered. So when you cannot be active in every state in this country, How good do you think your fucking chances are of winning? I would say slim to none, right? So don't get caught up in the bullshit. Start looking at the facts of stuff, y'all. And it's all there for you on the internet if you go get it. Senate.gov, Congress.gov, Assembly.gov, voters registration guides.gov, or voting registration office, whatever it is, wherever you live, it's all there in black and white. Just read it. That's it. What I want to say. Oh, I'm just throwing this in here for anybody interested. I'm gonna read that in a minute. California did not get rid of the Reparations Act. They are trying to amend it. The thing was, for everybody that was going crazy, because I saw a lot of people bugging out over that, they wanted to give black people an apology. They didn't want to give us any money. So the black people that were working on that in the caucus said, fuck no, you're going to give us some money the same way you gave everybody else. So we're going to take this bill back, work on this shit, resubmit it again. So that's what's happening for those of you that didn't know what was going on, all right? Now, you want to do your homework, you go look up those House bills that concern California's reparations bills. It's 3 of them. Now, I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. I made this video a couple of weeks ago or a couple of days ago. I'm old. I forget shit. So just look it up on Google and then go read everything you can online and in those governmental websites I just gave you to find out about what's going on with it, where it's at, and what changes they're trying to add to it before they vote on it again. Let me read this. Hold on. I remember you talking about something, a program or an investment thing for black women. Or I think Matrix Exposed had said something about it. Started a program for black women. Let me see, a program for black women investment. It probably was me. That was probably last year before they took my other channel. There's many programs. Let's see. Program or event, thinking about a program. This is the excuse me for yawning. I don't know off the top of my head. All I know is that every individual state since COVID has their own universal income program. Are you talking about that? If you're talking about that, you have to literally look up in each state if they have a universal income program. I heard Kamala talking about bringing that back. And she did have this when she was in California in her portion of the Bay Area when she was the DA over that office. She had some program for people when they came out of jail. I forget what it's called right now. All right, I forget. My mind is gone. She had 2 or 3 programs for black people. And then she wants to start a new one for black people called Lift Up or something like that. That's the program she was talking about where people keep taking her words out of context when they keep saying, oh no, she said she wasn't going to do anything in particular for black people. There's a content creator. Let me see if I can find him on TikTok. His name is Too Raw. I'm like, let me get him. Let me see if I can find him. He did a whole video on that. So if I can find him, it would help to show because he actually knows more about that stuff than I do. Just give me a second. Let me see if I can get in and find Too Raw. He actually went to the convention too. I saw him. The president of my union, he went to the convention too, and he was. I saw him talking about stuff online. Let me turn her off. I can't stand Prince-Ella. Y'all know that. Too raw, too real. Yep. Hold on. Let me get it. Let me see if he talks about the. Let me see if this is the one. Yeah, I think this is the one. I'm gonna show y'all both of them. Give me a minute. All right, I got it. Let me show y'all both of them because he's really good at this. I don't go into her history like that. Okay, hold on. Let me show it to y'all. I hope you don't get mad at me. With a sound thing at
to retract your video and your statements on Vice President Kamala Harris because respectfully, you do not know what the hell you're talking about.
Problem with Kamala Harris is that she was trying to, in 2020, run so far away from being the top cop, being the prosecutor, that she was trying to fit herself into a mold that she just doesn't fit into. She's hardline, she's hardcore, she's tough on crime.
No disrespect, sis, but what the hell are you talking about? Kamala Harris was one of the most progressive prosecutors of her time. She created the first of the nation reentry program called Back on Track, which worked with low-level offenders to get them out of prison, give them an education, give them job wellness classes, credit building classes, gave them education rather than incarceration, and expunged their records after the fact so it wouldn't be a barrier for them to get a job. Like, this is the stuff that's confusing the hell out of me. And while everybody's sitting here talking about she was tough on crime, they said that she was soft on crime. She called it being smart on crime, because a lot of people were upset with the fact that she was building a re-entry program to get offenders out of prison, calling her a social worker rather than a prosecutor. Here's the clip.
That as of January, we will have Back on Track in California's penal code as a model of what we should be doing to be smart on crime.
And yet you can't run away from the charges of those who do not agree with you. They call it soft on crime, that you can't be a social worker as a prosecutor.
And then you're going to say she was trying to shy away from her being a prosecutor. Have you never heard of justice on the ballot?
I believe that in 2020, justice is on the ballot. When in America, there is a father who is holding down 2 jobs and paying more taxes than the richest 400 families in America, economic justice is on the ballot. When in America, there is a mother who is in a parking lot of a hospital, afraid to walk through the sliding glass doors to get into the emergency room with her child, because she knows if she walks through those sliding glass doors, she'll be out of pocket a $4,000 deductible. Healthcare justice is on the ballot.
And since we're talking about justice on the ballot, a lot of these issues and initiatives have actually been addressed by the Biden-Harris administration. When it comes to economic justice, we got student loan debt forgiveness, we got the child tax credit. And then when we're talking about healthcare justice, let's not forget the fact that now, thanks to the Biden-Harris administration, they cannot report to the credit bureau your medical debt. Then you said she was over here trying to appeal to the people during the George Floyd riots. However, she helped co-author and co-sponsor
the bill
for Justice and Policing Act in June, before she was even on the damn ticket with Joe. But I got to add more to this, because there's more to Kamala Harris than just re-entry and low-level offenders. We have to talk about the fact that Kamala Harris tackled sex trafficking, particularly when it comes to young black women and young trans women. Y'all do not understand that Kamala Harris created one of the first in the nation child protective bureaus that focused on protecting the children and not charging them for child prostitution. When they were being sex trafficked, they were victims. She gave them access to safe houses. And if you don't believe me, ask black activist Latifah Simon.
Yeah, Latifah. Yeah. All right, I gotta stop it because I can't do too much of his stuff without getting in trouble. I mean, I know him, so I don't know if he's gonna get upset with me, but y'all check him out over there on Twitter, because he's actually very informative, and this is what he does. And there's a black lady on YouTube called Political Sis. She does this too. And there's a black woman from Louisiana. She's called The Bell Curve. She also, let me get her to turn y'all on to her too, because she's very good. Where is she? Hold on, look at The Bell Curve. There she goes. Y'all might like her. She's kind of funny. All right, let me stop. Hold on. The Rock with his nonsense. All right, hold on. All right, so this tab instead.
People who are being paid by the Russians to influence our elections again. These people laundered $10 million of Russian money, hiring content creators through a conservative propaganda network called Tenet to influence our election on behalf of the Kremlin. Their YouTube videos have over 16 million views.
That's fucked up.
And in addition to that, Ego Musti's is out here running nefarious websites that are taking people's personal information and lying to people, talking about you can register to vote here. But if you live in a swing state, it does not take you to the voter registration. It takes you to a form to fill out all your personal information, and then they're gathering that so that they can manipulate people in that state to vote a certain way. I know y'all say y'all tired of people talking about this is the most important election of our lives every time. That is because since 2010, we have been up against the wall trying to push back fascism in this country. So it has been the most important election of your lives for the past couple of cycles because, one, y'all don't show up in the midterms, but two, there are people out there doing nefarious things to bring fascism to this country. Y'all, we have to stay diligent, okay? You have to stay diligent. They want to wear you down, but we are in the thick of it now. So it is time to make sure your voter registration is up to date. It is time to make sure that people in your family and your friend circles are registered to vote. And you need to be very mindful, not necessarily demure, but very mindful of the evil machinations that are going on to thwart you from using your power in this country to retain your freedoms and vote, ho! This is not a game. You need to vote in November.
She's very serious. I like her. She never lies. None of them do. And these are the type of things, maybe like if some of these young women that we started off speaking about with that would actually listen to or hear outside of the silly relationship shit that they seem to only flock to like a gnat to a fucking light. I don't understand. Like, there's so much more in life than worrying about relationships, guys, sex, and stupidity. Like, you have to understand that there are so many more things in life that are worth more than that. So I'm gonna go because I'm literally getting tired now, but I appreciate you, today. I'm sorry that you had got flustered with that, but I have done a lot of stuff up till now. I'm tired. And it's gonna sound fucked up what I'm about to say, but if black people can't help themselves, then they're gonna fucking ruin themselves. And if that white man gets into office, you better believe we're gonna be wishing for better days, okay? And it ain't gonna be no, I guess, like, lovely way to live the way that these stupid black dudes think it's gonna be, where they got their foot on our neck and everything is working in their favor, and they're gonna finally get the chance to live life like the white man does, where he gets to control and rule over black women the way that white men rule over white women. That ain't never gonna happen in America. So if that's what they hoping and praying and looking for and hoping for, it ain't gonna happen, because when this asshole becomes president and becomes a tyrant, when he come for black women, he coming for their ass too. He's not gonna give them a fucking pass and, okay, yeah, you played the game with me to get me in office, so now let me repay you. No, he gonna throw your ass in the cell with us too, or in the fucking dungeon, wherever the hell they're going to try to take us, or shoot you in the head right along with us and throw us in the fucking nigger hole the way that, they was doing everybody else in that damn movie I was telling you about in Civil War, because they was killing everybody. When I tell you killing everybody, they didn't give nobody a pass. Like, they just asked you a question. There was one part in the movie where the two white dudes had caught the, what do they call them? What do you call them? They're the press, of course, but what do you call them? News reporters, right? And he had two of the Asian people on the ground on their knees, right? And the people were like scared to death because they knew they about to die. I'm coming. And he asked the question, "What are you?" The man said, "I'm American." He said, "What kind of American?" One was foreign, the other one was born in California. He killed both of them because they weren't the American he was looking for. And he was doing that to all of the people, except for the white American people he thought were American Americans, whatever the fuck that means. Fuck you, True, and get your ass off my page. How about that? You bitch ass motherfucker. How about that? Let me tell you stupid black motherfucking niggas something, okay? You coming on black women's channels, fucking with them and saying dumb shit in the comments, it doesn't change your existence. You are still a motherfucking bum. A motherfucker who can't wipe his own ass correctly, leaves shit stains in their drawers, cannot read, write, do arithmetic. You can't survive on your own. You need a woman or somebody else to take care of you, your mama, your grandmama. You are fucking useless. Helpless, hopeless piece of shit. Always be that fucking way, okay? You are nothing anybody gives a fuck about, especially not a black woman that has intelligence. Now, these bum-ass little girls that don't want nothing but for you to fucking make them your personal comeback, that can be good enough for them. But for the rest of us that got an education and want something out of life, the last thing we want is your disgusting motherfucking ass near us in any fucking way. Choke on that, motherfucker. Choke on that. We don't give a fuck about you. How many times y'all must like being disrespected because you come on everybody's channel fucking with black women when we tell you time and time again, fuck you. We don't give a fuck about you. You don't make any difference in our lives. You're the most attention needy motherfuckers in this world. You have a personality disorder that you need to go deal with. You go on Matrix Lives and fuck with her when she's trying to talk real shit to women, to tell women to get their shit together and stay far away from you, get their money up and get their lives better. You on my channel fucking around. You are a complete asshole. And you're useless to us. That's the reason why we don't fuck with you or want you now. If you had sense, you stupid motherfucker, you'd take your ass to school, get a fucking education, wash your ass, brush your motherfucking teeth, get some mannerisms about yourself and some motherfucking self-respect. Get gainfully employed. Have your own fucking place to live. Learn to respect other people. Learn what the word civility means and extend that shit to everybody you encounter. And then maybe somebody would give a fuck about you. But until then, you are an annoying fucking gnat. The thing that people follow around to clap that shit because you're fucking annoying. You're a bunch of fucking assholes who can't get a fucking hint. Nobody don't want you, motherfucker. And it's so easy to dismiss your irrelevant ass. And you get no more of my motherfucking time. What did you say, Slime? Bums, trolls, coming. Yes, but I'm done expending energy on them shit-stained niggas. They're going to get blocked. That's it. Hi, black women. I got to go rustle up some dinner for my dogs and get them out. Get some more working out going on. I do my cardio now. I did weights earlier. And then try to go to bed on time. It's ridiculous. We sat here all day talking about black women and things that, you know what it was? It was the fact that, let me tell you what it was. I'm not really giving a fuck no more about the political thing, right? Because I told you, if black people fuck themselves up, they're gonna deal with the consequence, right? But it was because I had played the clips of Too Raw, Too Real, and Bell Curve that really gave people who may not have known things the facts of the matter now. So it's a difference, and it is a nerve toucher when you give people real information that is actually factual. Because everything in both of those videos, if you Google it, you will see what they said is truly a historical fact, word from word. Not no bullshit ass ignorant black male panel trying to tell you that, oh, she put a whole bunch of black guys in jail. Never happened. She wasn't even the fucking DA that had anything to do with that. Matter of fact, I think she still might have been in college. They don't know what they're talking about. These are very stupid individuals. And this is why MN, myself, and every other woman that is older than you, young black women, tell you with all of our fucking enthusiasm, emotion, and concern for your welfare to leave those motherfuckers alone. Because they are already in the pits of hell. They're in the fucking abyss, right? They can't get no lower than that. They be in the center of the fucking earth if they went any lower. Nobody cares about them. Look at them in society, in all seriousness. When I go walk my dogs, I see niggas laying on the ground in the fucking gutter. They look like they just got up out of a fucking, do y'all know what a cesspool is? A literal cesspool? That's what they look like they just got up out of. Stained up clothes. You could smell them before you see them. They're just disgusting. And then you have the other ones that's walking around looking stupid because you know they got no intelligence. They like 50, 60, almost years old, walking around with fucking radios on their shoulder like they fucking Radio Raheem, how to do the right thing and shit. They're just ignorant, stupid motherfuckers. And then they all over social media trying to redeem a reality that everybody in the world sees. You ain't shit. You ain't worth shit. You're not doing shit with yourself. And all the fucking projection that you could muster up for black women about our mothering, our attitude, our existence, don't mean shit, because everybody in this motherfucking world sees we hold it down. We work, we go to school, we get educated, we take care of ourselves and our children, and we take care of your bum ass until we get tired of you. And those of us who you don't kill through black femicide, we get the fuck away from you forever. And you're the bum in the fucking gutter because you can't do shit with yourself after the woman who's taking care of you leaves you, or your mother tells you enough is enough. Get the fuck out of my house. Y'all are bums. You're broken, conquered, mental fucking idiots walking around in our society, being nothing but menaces all day and night. That's it. And you got fucking triggered because Too Raw, Too Real was blowing up all them fucking lies. You have them 3 and 4 and 5 hour lives about based on complete fucking stupidity. And the Bell Curve, she explained how these white motherfuckers are using bots, AI, and everything else on here to manipulate stupid motherfuckers like you and the dumb bitches you fuck with to make you vote for a motherfucker that is only gonna fuck you up as soon as he gets in office. You're a fucking idiot. If you wanted to show us just how fucking stupid you were, you succeeded. We know you're dumb. Now you can go. You have been fucking dismissed. All right, y'all. Black women, read this book, The ISIS Papers. And I'm not saying read this book in terms of advocating for Dr. Wessling. Her name, let me say her name right because I always fuck it up. Dr. Frances Cress Wessling. I'm not saying it to pump her or advocate for her, but she has some chapters in this book that will really blow your head away about the demasculation of black males in today's society. And she wrote this book like back in the fucking 80s or 90s. She talks about them being massively a whole bunch of homos in this book. She talks about how they are mentally conquered by the white man and how they are so attracted to white bitches and wanting to be women. You would never know that shit is in here, but it is. Read this book. Read it. It's going to explain a lot of things to you that I'm not able to articulate to you right now. I'm tired and need to go. But Read this book so you can unlock some of the many issues behind the eyes of those devils, of the faces of those monsters y'all stare into every day. They're not on your side. They would love nothing more than for these white men like Trump to come into office tomorrow and set out a fucking executive order where all women have to become property of somebody. They would love that shit. Only for their dumb ass to be sold the next week because they that fucking stupid. Because what they think, they forget selectively all the time, is that they sold us out once. But didn't them motherfuckers come back and get them too? I believe they did. And if you know white people like I do, they love to repeat the savage shit that they've done before. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Did y'all see how recently they keep talking about that white woman in France where her husband was so freaked out that he for years was drugging his wife and belonged to some freaky fucking website where he was having men come into his house and fuck his wife while she was unconscious? That's the type of fucking depravity that these people are made of. And these stupid motherfuckers think that because they don't work hard enough in society to get respect from a fucking dog, they really think that if these white men they praise because they live with so much misogyny in every ounce of their body, right? The shit oozes out of them. They really believe that if a motherfucker like that gets in office, they actually gonna look out for them. They're so stupid, it's not funny. Anyway. You know what? Yep, he should be on. He shouldn't be on Earth after. No, he shouldn't. But you know what? He's so fucking old. That man is in his 70s now, and I believe that was like a year or so ago. He probably dead already. If he actually went to prison, he's old. His body will catch a infection. He'll die from sepsis or something worse, man. And then who knows? It might be somebody in jail who still has a little bit of honor about them and will fucking beat his ass to death the way he deserves, or fuck him to death the way that he should get. You never know. You never know. And they do shit like that. That just triggered me to know, women, if you don't know to the extent that men will go who hate women and who are jealous of women's success in life, read the story of the Indian doctor who was raped to death by her co-workers because she was smarter than them and excelled past their accomplishments. They raped that woman so bad they broke her pelvis, and she died from, that's an eternal injury. So when that happens to a woman, the bones in your pelvis break. That makes you bleed out in the inside. They know that because they're medical doctors. So literally, they killed her like that, which is a very excruciating way to die. All because she was a smart woman who knew how to do things medically they did not. And I want you to understand that all of this stupid shit in the chat, the dumb videos they make, the lives they have for hours and hours at a time is nothing but hatred for women. And when you understand people truly hate you, you should learn to distance yourself from them motherfuckers by all means necessary, because nothing is going to come out of that situation for you good. All right, I'm done, y'all. MM, thank you very much. Have a great night. Lighten that burden with when it comes to those women. Just remember some of the stuff Malcolm said. Like, we cannot save everyone. And most Black people worth saving, you don't got to do all of that fucking convincing. You know what I'm saying? So if it's so many of them that's willing to actually get physical with you, let them be. Let them have poverty. Let them have Black femicide. Let them have all that shit that's going to happen to them. Because there's one thing you know for sure. When black women hang around with dysfunctional black males too much, two things are definitely coming. Death and having too much interaction with the fucking white police, which is not a good thing either. So eventually they gonna meet their maker one way or the other out of that situation. Because when they keep fucking around with them long enough, something's gonna happen where that person who has no impulse control, that black male, and no self-control, is gonna do something crazy to the point where that lady's gonna get killed, or she's gonna get hurt to the point where a neighbor gotta call the cops, or she calls the cops, and then you're gonna bring a maniac into the situation to possibly kill both of them. And that would be the best fucking outcome there could be. Give it to both them motherfuckers at one time. But since I did that video earlier, I'm gonna say good night and leave this right here, because y'all know from my own story, when motherfuckers ain't listening, it don't make no sense talking. Okay, y'all have a good night. Good night, everyone. Good night, MM Slime. Good night. Who else was in this chat? Let me see. Good night, Years. Good night, Seeking Wisdom. Good night, Soul. Good night, Karen Karma. Hey, Love Wisdom. Good night. Good night, y'all. Good night, Joanna. Good night. Have a good night. Yes, Naya, I'm coming right now. Don't worry, I'm coming. Night, y'all. I'm here. What?